Well, if you're going to play football in Arizona, a dome and air conditioning, those are two good things to have, and we've got both here at State Farm Stadium, just west of downtown Phoenix. So this was the scene a moment ago. The Cardinals emerging from their tunnel, and we are ready for football as the Cards get set to match up with the San Francisco 49ers. Kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Lance now on first down. And he'll throw this one away, but I don't think he was out of the pocket. No, here comes the flag. In the pocket, chucked it away, flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field, have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
Now Lance throwing on second down. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the 2. Credit the sack there to Chandler Jones.
We talked about prior to the game, and it played out right there on the first play, didn't it? This offensive line is going to have its hands full all night long.
Well, you often speak of scripts to start a game. Does this mean that play number 2, they're going to go off the script a little bit?
Yeah, what's interesting is that most people, when they script now, they actually script those contingencies in, okay, in case they can't run the play they want to. It's long distance now. Let's go to that play.
Wishnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. Returning it is Moore. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. First carry for James Conner. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Conner. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes this.
Now the Niners get there and bring him down. That is Nick Bosa from out on the edge who worked his way in for the sack. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
on 3rd and long. They'll look to throw. But he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they are losers of 2 straight coming into this Thursday night game. Is it more difficult, CD, when you take a losing streak into a quick turnaround game like this?
It certainly is, because you don't get time to work on the issues that you've had throughout the season that have caused you to have the record that you're having. You can't really get those set. So now you're trying to minimize those and maximize what you've been doing well. And I remember a game recently where one of the assistant coaches said to the head coach, forget our running back rotation. This guy has a hot hand, and they rode him to a victory. Those are things you have to look out for in games like this. Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
On 1st and 10, here's Lance. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Well, remember, these 2 teams met in Glendale earlier in the season with the Cards coming out on top. So a win here in Arizona would give them the season sweep. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Shotgun now for Lance. And that's dropped underneath to Mitchell. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Working from the gun. Lance winds up and lets it go for Samuel. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Byron Murphy. And the Cardinals are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend. But you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. On the handoff, Connor. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. These 2 teams, they met up earlier in the year, back in week 2. And it was the visiting Cardinals who came away with the victory. So now they've got a chance here to sweep the season series if they can get the victory in Glendale. From the 40 now on 2nd down. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Nick Bosa able to record his 5th sack of the season. We're scoreless after 1. Murray with a 3rd and long. Eluding the pressure right. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you're coming off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession, it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood. They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big third down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
Rolling to his right. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Here comes the 49ers punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Here's more on the return. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. They start the drive with Connor. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Murray. And this will be swung out here for Connor. Short completion, just 4 yards. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And Murray with a smart move there at the end of the play. Picks up the 1st down and then slides to the ground. And we've got movement by one of the big boys up front for Arizona. Flag comes in. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Here's a handoff to Connor. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Murray. That's going to be caught by Kirk. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9. The Cardinals on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Murray. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up on a safety, Jarquiski Tart. And the 49ers force the turnover. They'll take over at the 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Lance going to try and throw on third down here. Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Can't ask for much more than that. A 50-yard punt followed by a loss on the return. And the Cards are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. They go back to the air here after the INT. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line. It's a sack. Maurice Hurst busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. On the run is Connor. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Give him 3 yards on the run. Now they'll need to draw up something good here on 3rd and 13.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And they will not get the snap off here. This is going to back him up halfway. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. Murray a give. This is Connor. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And he'll take it just outside the 40. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Good starting field position for the 49ers as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 44. Lance looking to throw it. Oh, he'll look downfield for Kittle. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Buda Baker with a pick. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
So no scoring in our first half. What will the second half bring as we are now back underway? On the return, Rondale Moore will bring it out. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And Charles, a scoreless first half. How does that change how you assess things here moving forward?
Well, it doesn't change it a whole lot because, remember, it's still scoreless, which means you're starting from 0 again, so you just have 1 half to play instead of 2. What I would look at my play sheet, though, and see is something that maybe loosens things up for my guys, gets a smile on their faces. And
looking for Kirk, but this pass is intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Lance, a handoff here to Mostert, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Really good stop there by the end in this 4-3 defense.
And not just pass rushers anymore, are they? Those guys can use their hands, control the point of attack, shed those blockers, and go get those ball carriers.
And he'll be taken down at the 34. So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9. Lance now to throw. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
They'll run right side with Mostert. He'll have a 1st down inside the 10. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Raheem Mostert, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are on the board first here tonight. Robbie Gould on for the extra point. And the 49ers grab a 7-0 lead. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And no run back here for Moore. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next? Oh, they've intercepted Murray for the 3rd time. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And the Niners are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Lance's throw pulled in by Kittle. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. From the gun, it's Lance. Flush to his right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a 2nd interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
To throw again on 2nd down, Lance. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the 1st down marker. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. Now Lance. Able to haul it in is Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle, his first touchdown on the year. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. Gold with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They'll fake it to counter. Now Murray. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Maurice Hurst able to record his 5th sack of the season.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
From the gun, Murray. Under pressure, they got him again. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. Here's Sam Cook now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. This is sort of what you would call the put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And they finally put it into this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
Andy, do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. Flushed out right. He'll get this complete to Rondale Moore. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he was able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. To throw, it's Murray. That's complete to his running back, Conner. Touchdown, Cardinals. James Conner, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Cardinals are able to get a score back in the final stages of this 3rd quarter. Prater for the extra point, and that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And their lead cut in half by that touchdown a moment ago. They are up 7 as they begin this drive 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Lance with a tap forward on the jet sweep. And he he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Lance. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
And that pickup of a 1st down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here. Down late, tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
J.J. Watt, the one that gets him down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Niners on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 8. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Neechie13's got the sack there.
They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
Let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11. And they'll go for it. Lance. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by DJ Reed. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. A give running right is counter. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up. Murray now. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7. But first things first, they need to score. And he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. Will Dissly, his first touchdown on the year. And the Cards are an extra point away from tying this game here in the final minutes. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Taken at the goal line.
And he returns this to the 22. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this fourth quarter to try to grab that lead back. Pretty solid run here on first down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
On second and very short, Lance. And he is not going to go anywhere. They're going to get to him behind the line, and that is going to get us to the 2-minute warning. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And they're facing a big third down now in this tie ball game. Open man is Samuel, complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
And partner, in a tie game in the fourth quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars. And he came through with a nice catch right there.
Now Mostert off the read option.
And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory.
The 71 yards on the ground for him so far.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Second down, here's Mostert again.
And he's got this down to the 35. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point, you have to have a splash play in there as well.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10.
Meanwhile, Lance's throw complete here to Ayuk.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. On first down, Mitchell. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
This has been a good drive so far. It's been a running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a first down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
Now they get the timeout. It leads you to wonder, will they kick it here or risk running another play and possibly not getting down in time? We'll see. So now it'll all come down to Robbie Gould. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. So now it'll all come down to Robbie Gould. And the 39-year-old veteran puts it right through. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds.
Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. Murray, one final try.
He's got Connor. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Niners, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And now they'll have a few extra days before they face the Rams next week. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, they also will exit this one at 2-2. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.